Hey folks, Jim here, aka Pallet of Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another issue of Mortal Realms magazine. As per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. It's greatly appreciated. It goes a long way to help the channel out, and I do reply to every comment as fast as I possibly can. Now, without further ado, we're on issue 54 this week. Now, before we jump into it, last week's issue 53 still hasn't turned up at the newsagents where I get it from, so I don't know what's gone on with it. I don't know why or anything like that, so I've had to order it manually myself as a back order, and it will arrive when it arrives. When it does, I'll do a video on it, but for now we'll press on with issue 54. So this week we get the time-worn ruin pieces. Yeah, more scenery. Scenery, the thing with scenery is I don't mind it. Sometimes I get a bit fed up with it though, and we've had a lot of scenery, it feels like, from the good old the Azurite ruins, the good old Garden Moor and everything like that. Now the time-worn ruin bits and pieces as well, all the scatter, kind of like scatter terrain. Yeah, it is what it is, but it can help out and it can amplify your games and make them look a bit better if you wish them to and everything like that. It's entirely up to you if you use them though, in all honesty. Now, jumping into this week's issue, we're greeted by the Sons of Behemat. So, the Sons of Behemat have come. These gigantic gargants seek to smash the mortal realms asunder. So, gargants are the destructive descendants of the god beast Behemat. They are massive creatures that resemble hugely overgrown mortal humans. They are strong, slow-witted, and revel in smashing things. Gargants can be found in many armies across the mortal realms, but they are deadliest when they fight as tribes. So, with the Gargants, they are your giants and everything like that. So there was the old school giant that had the little guy that was running along with his arms out and everything like that. And that was a pretty cool model. And then they have released these huge mega gargants, which are pretty cool as well, which I haven't done other videos where I've mentioned these, so they're worth checking out. But these are pretty cool. So Behemat was a god beast. The god beasts, of course, being these super huge beings, and one that Sigmar himself battled and actually stopped by striking him with Galmaraz and everything like that. So really cool. When Behemat did awake again in the Age of Sigmar, he was slain by the Celestant Prime as well. So yeah, god beasts are not always destructible or anything like that, but they are pretty cool. Pretty cool units as well. These mega gargants do look really cool and have a nice look to them as well. And it goes through the Gargant stomps. So Gargant tribes are known as stomps. What a surprise. And each follows a simple chain of command. The biggest and toughest mega gargant is at top and decides the culture and tactics for his tribe to follow. Other powerful mega gargants stand ready to take command, while Mancrasher gargants act as brutal foot soldiers for the clan. So, for instance, you might have, say, like the Kraken Eater Mega Gargant at the top. The oldest Mega Gargants live by the oceans of the mortal realms. Here they prey on sea monsters, sailors and invaders, and they fight to protect the huge hordes of glittering magical treasures they have stolen. Warstomper Mega Gargants are grizzled nomads who are addicted to battle. They travel the realms far and wide in search of new foes to defeat. Some Warstomper Mega Gargants have even offer themselves as mercenaries and typically turn on their paymasters after the battle is over just so they can keep on fighting. Gatebreaker Mega Gargants, when I can learn to speak, the most ruthless Mega Gargants are Gatebreakers. These monsters utterly hate civilization, and so they smash down castles and cities wherever they find them. They wear the remains of forts they have crushed as trophies and use wreckage as weapons. And then your Man Crusher Gargants are at the bottom as well, where they're listed, which are your slightly smaller ones, but they are a kind of they fight on behalf of the Mega Gargants and everything like that. So they're pretty cool. It's kind of nice to see what the hierarchy of the Gargants would be, really, as well. Then moving on, we get some more kind of lore, essentially, for the good old Stormcast Eternals. So this is about Vandus Hammerhand. So every Stormcast Eternal is a hero, but one stands above all others. He is Vandus Hammerhand, a champion without equal in the mortal realms. So Vandus Hammerhand is one of the greatest Lord Celestins ever to stride the mortal realms. His name has been legend ever since he led the Stormcast Eternals to victory in the first battles of the Age of Sigmar. Since then, he has fought countless wars in Sigmar's name. It was Vandus who first tamed the Dracoth, the draconic creatures used by high-ranking Stormcast Eternals. Vandus is also responsible for recapturing Galmaraz, as he battled Kairos Fateweaver to take back the sacred Warhammer. So, Vandus has been also kind of haunted by strange visions of doom since he had a brutal duel with Archaon, the Ever-Chosen. And it's pretty cool. It's nice to see some more lore as well to do with certain characters from Stormcast Eternals, because their armour kind of resembles faceless robots, kind of like the Space Marines technically are, and kind of come across as just having this kind of like endless horde of just one kind of colouring and everything like that. So it's nice to see that there is actually some character and get some character from them and everything like that. So he is a Reforged Lord, of course. So he was a Smith Lord of Diabrand tribe, and he was known as Zendel Blackfist. And like many other mortals, he suffered greatly in the Age of Chaos and stuff like that as well. So he was pretty cool. So he was an actual blacksmith during his in his original life, essentially, everything like that. And there is a pretty cool model as well there for him, and he does look really, really cool. Definitely really good stuff to read through, things like that as well. And it's always very nice to see more of that type of thing coming into a magazine. Then we've got some more information for the realms. So this is Dolorum. So Dolorum was once a proud empire in Shaiish. As with many great civilizations within the realm of death, the people of Dolorum were mortal, but they worshipped Nagash. The ruin of Dolorum came at the hands of one of the nobles destined to rule it, Lady Alinda. Before she was Mortarch of Grief, Alinda was a cunning mortal. Hungry for power, she plotted and schemed against her family and fiancé until she was the sole heir to the empire. Once crowned, the young queen ruled through fear and repression, assassinating her enemies and forging fearful alliances. The forces of Nurgle eventually destroyed Dolorum, but for years Alinda ruled its ruins as a vengeful and miserable spirit. So, during the Age of Chaos, Dolorum was toppled by the forces of Nurgle, and she kind of respawned as Lady Alinda, the Mortarch of Grief, before she actually became the Mortarch, and was given more greater powers by Nagash when she did become Mortarch, stuff like that as well. So pretty cool to have a bit more information about her. There is a really, really good story as well. If you read the novel of Lady Alinda, and it kind of shows how devious and tactical she is, and she can be, with her Nighthaunt armies and stuff like that as well, which is pretty cool and pretty good stuff to read. You got a bit more about the fall of Dolorum and the Dolorous Guard as well down here, which is Hexwraiths and Knight's Shroud, a couple of Knight's Shroud and stuff like that as well there, which are pretty cool to have a look at, and some very nice paint schemes as well, some good paint ideas that you could have for your Nighthaunt if you wish to. More history as well, and more lore to do with the Age of Sigmar, and this is to do with the War of Life. So Nurgle, the Plague God, has always wanted to transform the realm of life into a place of rot and decay. In the War of Life, he came close to conquering Gyron once and for all. During the Age of Chaos, the realm was almost ruined. Only the rebirth of a god stopped Gyron from being destroyed. So, if you're unaware, Nurgle a lot of his followers kind of spout that they're bringing life back, but they're technically not. They want rot and decay. So the life that they are bringing back is only to sustain them and continue their rot and the decay that they can bring forth and everything like that as well. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword. So they always have this kind of thing for Gyron. So Gyron being this bountiful kind of gorgeous landscape, very lush, very wild, and very full of life, being the realm of life itself. So Nurgle has a thing for that realm. Nurgle also has a bit of a thing for Shyish, because it's near enough void of life in a lot of ways. So it's very much a kind of a battle of wills, essentially, between Nurgle and the forces of life and the forces of death, and a lot of times as well. So pretty interesting, and more lore that we can read through and finally understand as well, and kind of get the grips to with what Nurgle is about. And the rebirth, of course, of Alariel, the Ever Queen, who had been once reduced to a seed known as a soul pod, and then she rebirthed and helped bring forth and win the war with her Sylvaneth armies and stuff like that as well, which is pretty cool. You're building your time-worn ruins. There's nothing to build. Literally, clip them out. That's it. Clip them out, trim them up, paint them, have fun. Done. Very, very easy, and it all fits in with the other bits and pieces that we've had. So whether that's that Sigmar statue with the braziers and the ruins as well there. So paint them up, have fun with them. Entirely up to you how you want to paint them. I personally would not brush paint them. I would seriously spray paint these. Far easier, far quicker as well than trying to brush paint them all, because it will be a pain in the ass to brush paint them all. But once you've spray painted them, literally brush over, do however you want as well though. If you are going to spray paint them, if you want grey stones, use a light grey primer and then Agrax Earthshade or something like that to paint over it, and then dry brush it with, say, Administratum Grey, and you'll get a very nice look. If you want it to kind of look like marble, a white spray paint will do absolutely fine with Agrax Earthshade again, and then dry brush over like Corax White or Scar White or something like that as well. That'll help bring out all the details. If you wanted kind of like a basalt kind of colour, spray paint it black. Very easily done. Spray paint it black, a bit of Mechanicus Standard Grey as a dry brush highlight, and you can near enough leave it at that for a lot of it, and then you just got to paint out the smaller details like the skulls and stuff like that. If you wanted sandstone, then if you get a can of Wraith Bone, which you can get directly from GW or from good old Goblin Gaming or Element Games or anyone like that, then you can do that. Agrax Earthshade, dry brush over Wraithbone again, or a light spray over the top, and you'll get a fantastic look as well, and it'll look a bit more like sandstone, which is a very kind of interesting way of painting them, and very quick way of painting them as well. So you can do that if you wish to, but entirely up to you. Do it how you want to. There's no right or wrong with a lot of it. If you wish. You get your war scroll as well for the scenery, because of course they have their own rules to do with them and everything like that as well, which is always pretty handy. And then your battle plan as well, so you can kind of go through all of that, and it is literally more in with good old Sigmar and everything like that as well, in the realm of metal. If you are going to do that battle plan though, you'll need your Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed, 20 chain rasps, so both lots of 10 that we've had, Dreadblade Harrow, Guardian of Souls, 5 Dreadscythe Harridans, going up against a Hailstorm Battery, so the Lord Ordinator, a unit of 3 Castigators and a Celestar Ballista, 5 Sequitors, the 3 Farstriders, and a Knight Incantor as well, and 3 battle maps as well with that one, if you wish to do a Dangerous Prize battle plan. And then last but not least, let's have a look what's coming next week. So, next week, providing it arrives, the Lord Arcanum on Celestial Dracoline. Really, really nice model. Now, with this one, it is one sprue from a set of 3 that would normally come in one box. The other ones to go with this are coming a bit later on, so not in too many issues time as well. So really, really quite good, as I have now seen a cover that they come with. And issue 56, we get the Knight of Shrouds unmounted, which is a cool little model as well. That one was about 20 quid on its own, so definitely worth picking up that issue for that hero. Pretty cool. Right, that's it from me today. This one's been a bit longer because of going through everything a little bit further with a finer tooth comb, but yeah, it's been a fun one. Right, all being well, we'll be back next week with more Mortal Realms. I hope so, because I'll be annoyed otherwise. But yeah, issue 53, as soon as that arrives, I'll get another video out for that as well, and there probably will be a couple of other videos this week, just all in the processing of planning of them all, more than anything. But for now, thank you very, very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye now.